Hi everybody and welcome to another Crisscrossings. My name is Terrence. This is the Christmas season, the New Year's season. So it's kind of a Crisscrossings with Chris for Christmas show we have for you today. We have two reasons to be here. One, to celebrate the great time of year, and also we're going to be visiting with some people who put on a great show every year. So let's take a little trip over to Oceano, which is about 3 miles from Pismo Beach on the central coast of California, to the Great American Melodrama and Vaudville, a holiday extravaganza. Hi everybody and welcome to today's show. We are in Oceana, California. Been looking forward to bring this one to you. We are today at the Great American Melodrama and Vaudeville, and this is a wonderful place to come. Enjoy yourself. They have terrific shows and old-time vaudeville right here. Tonight we're going to show you some of them, but first we got to go get our tickets. The box office is right over here. Come on, I'll show you.
Smile, so put your money in the jar and head on down the aisle. Head on down the aisle.
Well, we're from Santa Maria, and we love the show. My daughter.
Did you like it?
You like it? This is their first time here.
Oh, great.
So.
I'm from Los Osos and I love the show. We come every year.
We do come every year.
We're from Santa Barbara, and we came up. This is our third year in a row.
We're the twins here.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito and I'm Arnold.
Oh, it's fantastic.
We love it. We love it.
It is really good so far.
It's really good.
Really good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and it was an outstanding show.
Dancing through the snow. One whole focus snare. On the field we go, rapping all the way. Get your studio slave, baby, get your jalapeno. Over the living doors of your brother's El Camino.
You know, we always put the Christmas lights on the broken down pickup on the front lawn, but this year we also added a nativity.
Oh, yes, I saw it as I drove by. It's quite a display. The live sheep are a nice touch.
They're mine.
Of course they are. I was just wondering why the three wise men were wearing fireman helmets.
Well, darling, because it says so right there in the Bible.
It says what?
It says, the three wise men came from afar.
Hi everybody, we are back and we are inside now, and the Great American Melodrama and Vaudeville. We're visiting with Susie King, and Susie, I saw your picture on the wall.
Yes.
And first of all, we're going to talk about what an amazing actress you are and all your jobs that you do.
I think he is getting stronger, my dear.
Yes, Bob. I'm sure you're right. He is getting stronger. Here I am. Stay. Come, Swan Lake children, one and all. We needs must save this poor lost land. Nice duck! It's a swan here. We are the Swan Lake kids. We're not in rock and roll story.
Well, you know, it's a great name, the Great American Melodrama and Vaudeville, because isn't it? It really is a great American thing. I mean, this goes back. The history of it all is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, melodrama, and Eric will probably can tell you more about this, but melodrama was the Broadway theater of its time, so the turn of the century, the classics, which we don't always do all year. We've expanded to our repertoire as more than melodrama in it now, but when they first started, they were doing just classic melodrama, and yeah, it's a unique style, and it, although it didn't originate in America, it really became. We owned it to a certain degree, at least our own style of it.
And the crowds. I mean, I know you're sold out all the time. The place is packed all the time, even in the matinees.
Yeah, for the Christmas show, definitely.
So it's got to be a great feeling.
It is. It's totally great, and we have. And now this Christmas show has become a family tradition for people, which they tell us every day as we're leaving. Oh, we never go Christmas. It's not Christmas unless we come to the Melodrama show.
Well, we're from San Gabriel. This is our 16th consecutive year.
16 consecutive years. Wow. What brought you to the show and how you liked it?
Well, this has been kind of a tradition.
I thought as how this day had come, the belfries of old Christendom had rung so long the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Do you draw people from not only here, but what other places?
Absolutely. Santa Barbara, Solvang, Fresno, Bakersfield, up in Cambria, and, you know, not particularly close, not just a drive down the road, but yeah, people make a trek. Some people come up from LA.
And during the summer, they come all that way just to come in here and boo and hiss.
That's right.
And you love it.
Oh, yeah. We love it. They love it. Everybody's happy.
Great. Well, hey, well, thanks for visiting with Susie.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break and come right back right after John. We'll be right back.
Let me tell you what, sir. I'm not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I am about to double your salary. Merry Christmas, Bob. A merry Christmas that I've given to you for many a year.
What a pleasure it is to visit with Scrooge himself.
Scrooge himself.
Mr. Billy Breed. Billy, thanks for taking the time. And before we go any further, I gotta say, you got a great voice. You got an incredible voice. You do any radio work or voice work or singing?
I would,
of course, singing.
Like to. I'd sing, but I would like to do radio work. The thing is, you have to get demo tapes and submit to agencies, and that costs quite a bit of money. And it's something I've always thought about doing, but never done yet. So.
I think you could just go in and say, listen to this.
Yeah.
And they'd hire you, just like that.
The new Brenda Vaccaro.
Anyway, so you enjoying doing Scrooge?
Yes,
that's
I mean, this is my second year doing it, and it's challenging. We're doing it twice, daily most of the time, and I'm working with wonderful people. It's just trying to keep it fresh every day. That's the challenge, when you're doing it so many times, keeping it fresh and alive. It's one of the hardest parts about doing it. So,
what's your background? What type of acting have you done mostly?
I started off as a dancer, and worked professionally as a dancer for a while. But I had a series of knee injuries. I'd always acted. When I grew up, I had acted in community theater productions back home, and when the knees started giving out, I emphasized more of the acting, and I went back to school to finish a degree in theater, and. I guess I've kind of done all genres, classical, comedy, contemporary. I guess my emphasis lately has been comedy.
Sift the orange juice and strain your nuts. Grease the oven and turn your cake pan to 350 degrees. And put the whole mess in. Bake in a 1 1/2 degree oven for 350 hours. Sample the brandy while waiting. If the cake doesn't turn out too well, change the brand to brandy. If the fast. Check the brandy again. And go to bed. Bon appetit and join in the run.
Well, listen, it's a pleasure to meet you, Billy. And I wish you luck in everything you're doing. And I'm telling you, man, you got a radio voice.
Thank you.
I just wish I had a voice like that. It's outstanding. Pleasure, Billy.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll take a short break. Is the wig done yet, Susie, by the way?
It's looking a little better.
Can't wait to
I just
wear
need
that.
To attach the tiara again. Would you like to try it on, Chris?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Turn off the camera.
It's that holiday time of the year, a time to sit back and relax. Not that holiday time of the year, a time for greeting cards and form letters by email and fax.
King, mention the baby, take two. Speed, forward, background, action.
Her lips are red as rubies rare, her hair is black as darkest night, her skin is white as fallen snow, her name shall be...
How about Snow White?
Her name shall be Snow White!
Hail, Snow White the princess, hail, Snow White the princess, Snow.
Well, I sure have been looking forward to visiting with this guest, Haley Galbraith. I remember when you were running around the house acting out, and now here you are, all grown up. And after that job you did with Hello Dolly at Roosevelt High School, I swear it's just so great to see that you're out here doing it and loving it.
Yes, I am.
This one is the good apple. This one is the bad apple. If you bite the bad apple, you will bite the big one.
Try the big one, huh?
Uh-huh. She was so lovely. The huntsman, he had pity on her.
Pity!
And said, away with you, poor child, now run into the forest and never return.
I wanted to ask you about, we were talking about the good old days, and this is where you're out there and you're really learning how to hit that curveball, you know. And how do you do that when you have to reach down so deep so often?
Well, that's, I think, every actor's challenge, and luckily in this particular play, there aren't those deeply emotional scenes for me. But I've had that before, and what's unique about the melodrama is the audience helps keep it fresh for you. Oftentimes you run dry because your stimulus or your pinch, sometimes they call it, that memory or that feeling that you try to remember in a certain scene that helps to get you to an emotional place. It becomes invalid after a while because you've used it. You've almost, drained all of the emotional, I don't know, material out of it. And so with a show that doesn't have as much interaction from the audience, you really have to find alternate means to get you back to that necessary emotional status for your character in order to make the scene make sense, or to give them enough motivation to do what they end up doing at the end of the play or whatever. And that's very, very hard. And I don't think there is a solution. But here, the audience is almost your solution because they're adding something to the mix every night. And so you're never coming up with the same final product. You know, it's
Sure.
a different recipe. Every evening is a different recipe depending on what they provide. So
Sure. And,
they help us.
and right here, you're learning and learning and learning a great experience. Do you still dream? Do you still dream about what you got into this business for in the first place?
Oh yeah, every day. Every
That's
day.
great. All right.
Pushes you, propels you that much further.
Every single day.
Keep at it.
The good queen died, the king remarried. Woo! Some nasty broad. You heard? Snow White is big. The queen's a pig. Big pig. Oi, can you believe these lyrics? 15 years have come and gone since Snow White was born. Oh, you can't handle the Oceano.
You know, in order to put an organization like this together, you got to have somebody who wears a lot of hats. And Eric Hoyt, you are the man in this situation.
I am indeed. I do wear a lot of hats. I'm the artistic director and the business manager and the bookkeeper and the box office manager.
Are you allowed to like any one of those jobs more than the other?
I sure am. I like all of them at varying degrees at varying times and dislike all of them at varying degrees.
Makes a lot of sense.
But I actually do like the balance between the artistic and the business side. So when one side of my brain gets tired, I just do the other job.
Hey, that makes sense.
Works great.
You're the guy who chooses which plays you're going to do. Right. You choose it, and that's got to be an interesting part. Let's just talk about that right there.
I start reading plays 6 or 7 months before I have to make the selection, and over the years, there's a lot of plays that I've read and not considered for 1 year that I'll go back and look at again. So we do 7 shows a year. So in the middle of the summer, I'm making selections for the next calendar year, going through finding the right balance of comedies and musicals and family-friendly stuff.
And when you do that, you're thinking, okay, this person would be great for this role as well, or
well, sometimes because I'm looking almost a year in advance, I don't necessarily know that any particular actor is still going to be with me because they tend to come and go a lot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, quite honestly, I will read a play and think, oh, so-and-so would be great for this, and then I hope that I can get them to stay or come back and do that show.
Such a good time. People come in and have such a good time. I'm sure that's got to help the actors put on the show when they hear that audience.
The proximity of the audience to the actors in this space, because they're so close, you get that immediate reaction. You get to talk to them in the bar line or when you take them to their seats. It feeds you. I mean, my first professional job was here at this theater more years ago than I want to admit to. And then I went off and did a national tour, and the experience was just so different because the audience was so distant. Mm-hmm. And you didn't always get the response. You did get a funny line, and maybe you could hear the laughter, maybe you couldn't. But here, boy, they feed you.
Swinging at Santa's. Swinging at Santa's. Swinging at Santa's. Santa's place. Happy as can be, that's his holiday guarantee. Swinging at Santa's place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Santa's place. Yes.
Gosh, I don't believe how hard you guys work.
Well,
Honest to God,
it's all
Billy.
part of the job.
Yeah?
This is what we do.
You're great. You really are. You're a comedian. You're a dancer. You're a singer, and not order. Not order. And you're picking up the plates.
Happily.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody's happy.
Well, it's a really good place to work. they really treat us well here, and they treat us like we're part of a family. So you kind of want to make it work. You just feel like you're here every night with everybody that you room and board with them as well, and you rehearse with them, and you spend lots of time together.
How does it feel to get that kind of love from the audience?
It feels really good because I think that you don't always get a chance to interact with people the way we do. You don't get the personal, hey, how are you? We've seen you for 6 shows. You don't get that kind when you're in a theater where you've got people that just come for the experience. They come to be a part of everything. So
Yeah, you got a great team.
Yeah, we really do.
You all work together. It's a really good
You've got to
group.
have that, especially at Christmas time. It's really important that everybody's really interested in each other and really interested in the work.
Great.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Great job.
My name is Virginia Wilcox.
And where are you from?
I am from Walnut Creek, California.
Oh, okay. Okay. And you've done this. You've done a lot of things like this for a long time, right?
This is my 3rd show here at the Melodrama, but I've been doing theater professionally ever since I was about 14.
And so that was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. No, really enjoyed your versatility, and that's. I guess that's what you have to be in melodrama, vaudeville.
It helps. It definitely helps.
Hey, did you grow up really loving vaudeville? Do you like this kind of entertainment?
I always really loved musicals. I loved dancing. I started tap dancing at a fairly young age, and yeah, I love all the old time music like that. So, you know, a place like this that resurrects music that you don't normally hear is really special.
You know, it's such a great team that you guys had. It's hard to single out and say, well, I really like this the best, but then again, there was that other thing.
Well, it's like peanut butter and jelly, you know, they just go better together.
Yeah. Is comedy one of your favorite things to do too? The Snow White thing is great.
Yeah, I love doing Snow White every night, and the responses from people is always really wonderful at the end. You know, tonight a gentleman came up to me and held my hand and said, "You are the best Snow White that I've seen in 50 years." I thought that was a very nice compliment.
What would you tell young kids now getting into forming and whatever about this experience?
Well, something that I learned at a young age was that you're never too old to start, because I thought, everybody has something that draws them into it initially, and for me it was tap dancing. That's where I started, and so I started tap dancing, and then other areas started to happen afterwards, like I started taking singing lessons and things like that. But I started to feel like, oh, I'm too old, when I was about 15 or 16. I was like, oh, I'm too old to start singing, or I'm too old to, dance or ballet or things like that, because so many people had started when they were young. So my advice would be, you're never too old to start, or too young. You can always start now.
And the one last thing is, what about this?
Oh, this? This is the glamorous part of the job. After we're done singing and dancing and entertaining people and filling them with holiday cheer, if it's the holidays, then we pick up all their trash. So, tip your actors.
There you go. Thank you, Virginia. Pleasure to meet you.
My name's Chuck McLean.
Chuck McLean, and you're from Salinas.
I'm originally from Salinas, California, yeah.
All right, Chuck, what time did you get here today?
Well, the first time I got here was about 12:30 till about 3:30. We did a show, and then I came back at 6, and now it is
10.
Now it's 10.
And you're busting the tables.
And we're busting the tables. We're cleaning up after the show. We pretty much take everything except the sawdust, clear the tables, get everything out of here, clean up all the trash.
And you got to be tired after the show. I mean, that's an incredibly hard
tonight
show.
Wasn't too bad. It was one single show. We didn't have the two back to back like we've been having every weekend. So it's kind of nice to just have the one show. So yeah, it's a little tiring, but not as bad as after. The
crowd loved it, and I guess the crowd picks you up.
Yeah, and the energy of the whole place. You get everyone in here, and they're wanting to see the show. We're wanting to give the show, and it's just a great experience to be sharing that Christmas story with everybody. I think it's really nice. It's very strange. Like any other job that I've done doesn't fulfill me half as much as being on stage and sharing that essence with the audience. That 2 hours is magic for all parties involved, you know,
You
not
bet.
just the people in the house, but us too, the piano player, you know, people behind the bar, everybody shares in and makes that magic happen. And it's nice because people can come in after a hard weekend and just forget their problems for 2.5 hours and just enjoy a story, and hopefully they leave changed,
Right.
you know, and for the better.
You do a wonderful job. Pleasure to meet
Thank you so
and,
much.
and good luck in the
Nice to meet
future.
you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye. I'm on.
Till all men are free, till the world becomes a family. Star by star up above, and kindness by human kindness. Light this world with your love, and God bless us.
What a great group of people you have over there at the Great American Melodrama and Vaudeville in Oceano. And again, it's just 3 miles south of Pismo Beach. And these folks work so hard to spread the cheer, spread the joy of the holiday season with that great holiday extravaganza. But the hall is open all year round, and it's a great place to go, a great place to visit. And wherever you are, it's no more than a tank or two away.